We all know that feeling, right? You've got stuff you need to do, maybe even things you want to get done. But somehow you end up scrolling or, I don't know, suddenly deep diving into the history of shoelaces online instead.
Yeah, the avoidance tactics can get pretty creative. Getting started just feels heavy, impossible sometimes.
Exactly. It feels like climbing a mountain just to like open your laptop. But what if, and this is what the material you shared today suggests, what if that feeling isn't really you being lazy?
Right. What if it's not some, fundamental flaw in your character, not about a lack of willpower?
Yeah. The segment from USA Awaken you sent puts it really clearly. This thing we call laziness, it's maybe more signal, like your brain's dashboard light coming on.
That's a great way to put it. It's a sign that your system is a bit out of sync.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed, maybe unmotivated, maybe disconnected.
Okay.
But the really good news, and this is the core of what we'll dig into, drawing from that segment, is that you can reset it.
Yeah.
You can shift out of that state.
So it's not a permanent condition. Phew.
Definitely not. We're going to explore why this happens, looking at the insights from the source, and then get into some really practical ways to get things moving again. Actionable steps.
Okay, let's do it. So this idea of deconstructing laziness, the USA Awaken piece is pretty firm. It's not a weakness.
Precisely. It challenges that common view.
Yep.
It argues that what we feel is laziness, well, that isn't about a lack of inner strength. It's more like feedback.
Feedback. How so?
Well, it could be your brain saying, look, I'm drowning in distractions here.
Yeah.
Or I don't actually know what the goal is. Or even, hey, remember sleep, food, basic needs.
That makes a lot of sense when you lay it out like that. The segment gave examples like constant notifications. How can you focus?
You really can't. Not
Or
properly.
having no clear goal. It's hard to get moving if you don't know where you're going.
Right, absolutely.
Oh.
And then there's the big one, burnout, poor sleep, feeling emotionally drained that just empties the tank. Nothing left for tackling tasks. These things genuinely impact our cognitive function. It's hard to operate when you're running on empty or constantly being pulled in different directions. The segment really stresses that the feeling isn't the root problem, it's a symptom.
So you're not lazy.
You're probably just stuck, temporarily stuck. And that's key because stuck implies you can get unstuck. You can change it.
Okay, I like that reframe, stuck, not lazy. So if we accept that, what's the first move? How do we start that mental reset? The material really points to awareness, doesn't it?
It really does. That's the foundation. Before you can fix anything, you got to understand what's actually going on inside.
That's essence.
So the segment suggests taking some time, maybe just a few minutes for some honest reflection, asking yourself some specific questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Things like, okay, what things or maybe people consistently leave me feeling drained? Or when do I really feel the least motivated? Is it morning, evening, after certain activities? And maybe the most revealing one. What am I actively avoiding right now? What's that task I keep pushing away?
And the goal isn't to beat yourself up about the answers, is it?
No, definitely not.
No.
Segment is clear. Just 5 quiet minutes, maybe jot down whatever comes up, no judgment.
Just observe.
Exactly. Just gather the data. Writing it down can help, makes it feel a bit more objective, less overwhelming. It's just information gathering. Because, like the source says, awareness really is power here. It's the starting point for making conscious changes.
Right. Okay, so once you've got a bit more awareness, maybe you see some patterns, what's next? How do you break that inertia, that feeling of being stuck? The segment introduces something called the 5-minute activation rule. Sounds simple.
It is simple, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's designed to sneak past that initial resistance we feel.
How does it work?
The core idea is you tell yourself, okay, I'll just do this one task, but only for 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes.
So a tiny commitment.
Tiny. It lowers that mental barrier right down. Suddenly, it doesn't seem so daunting.
And the examples they give are relatable. Like maybe just tidying one small corner of your desk, or just opening the laptop in the document, or starting that email you've been dreading.
Exactly. Whatever it is, 5 minutes feels doable, manageable. You're not committing to finishing the whole thing, just starting for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And what often happens, as the segment points out, is that action creates momentum. Once you actually start doing the thing, even if that short burst, your brain kind of shifts gears.
From resistance to engagement.
Yeah, or at least less resistance. It moves towards flow. Often you find yourself continuing past the 5 minutes without even really thinking about it.
It's like giving yourself a little nudge to get the ball rolling.
Precisely. And the segment encourages you. Try it today. Pick one small thing you've been avoiding, set a timer, 5 minutes, go.
It emphasizes that these little steps add up over time. It's not about massive overnight change.
That's a really important takeaway. It's about building a positive loop. Small action, small win, a bit more motivation, maybe another small action. It breaks that negative cycle of avoidance, guilt, more overwhelm.
Okay, the 5-minute rule. Got it. Now, another big piece of this puzzle which the source material really digs into, is focus. Being able to actually concentrate.
Yes, crucial. And the USA Awakened segment frames focus not as something you're just born with or not,
Right.
but as a skill, something you can train, like a muscle.
That's empowering. So if you feel like your focus is, all over the place, you can actually work on it.
Exactly, you have agency. And the segment offers some practical ways to train that focus muscle.
Okay, like what?
Well, the first, maybe most obvious one in today's world is minimizing distractions. Specifically calls out putting the phone on Do Not Disturb.
The phone. Yeah, that's a big one for most of us.
It really is. Those constant pings and notifications just shatter your attention. So creating a quieter environment, reducing those external pulls, that's fundamental for concentration.
Makes sense. What else?
The segment also mentions using timed work blocks. Short bursts of focused work, then a short break. It references the Pomodoro technique.
Oh, yeah, like 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off.
Exactly like that. It works because it respects our natural attention limits. Trying to force focus for hours on end often just leads to burnout and diminishing returns. Short, intense bursts with breaks can be much more sustainable and productive.
Right, working with your brain's rhythm, not against it.
Precisely. And it's not just about work habits and environment. The segment really hammers home the physical side too.
The mind-body connection.
Yeah. It says very directly, fuel your brain, drink water, move your body, eat clean.
And then adds junk in and junk out. Pretty blunt.
It is, but it's true. Our brain needs good fuel to work well. Dehydration, sitting still all day, eating poorly, all that stuff directly impacts our ability to think clearly and focus. We often forget that.
Yeah, I do. And then there's sleep. The segment is equally direct about that.
Oh yeah. Sleep like it matters because it does. Simple as that.
Followed by no sleep, no focus. Can't argue with that logic.
Nope. It uses that analogy of your brain being like a phone battery. If it's not charged, it just won't perform well. Sleep is when the brain cleans house, consolidates memory, recharges. Skimping on it creates a huge cognitive disadvantage.
Okay, so focus involves managing distractions, using techniques like Pomodoro, and taking care of the basics: hydration, movement, food, and especially sleep.
That covers a lot of the practical ground.
Yeah.
But the material you shared goes a bit deeper too, connecting motivation to something bigger.
Purpose.
Exactly, connecting to your why. The segment makes a really interesting observation. People who have clarity of purpose are rarely lazy.
That's a strong statement.
It is. But think about it. When you know why you're doing something, when it really matters to you, when it aligns with your values or goals, that internal drive kicks in.
You're not just pushing yourself through tasks anymore.
Right. The feeling of having to force yourself starts to fade. And the segment encourages reflection on this with some powerful questions.
What kind of questions?
Things like, what am I actually working toward here? Big picture. And why does this genuinely matter to me? Not just surface level, but deep down. And also, who am I trying to become through doing this work?
Well, those require some real thought, not quick answers.
Definitely not. But spending time with those questions can be transformative. It connects the dots between your daily actions and your larger life vision. When that connection is clear, like the segment says, motivation tends to flow much more naturally. You shift from forcing yourself to being driven from within.
From obligation to alignment.
Beautifully put, yes.
So to help kind of bring all these ideas together, the USA Awakened piece includes a little practical exercise too, right? A quick mental reset moment.
It does. It's super simple, a reminder that small pauses can make a difference in shifting your state.
What does it involve?
Just closing your eyes for, say, 10 seconds. Taking one slow, deep breath in, and then letting it all out slowly.
Okay, simple grounding.
Very simple. And then it suggests repeating a few positive affirmations. Silently or out loud, whatever feels right.
Like what?
Things like, I am capable, I am focused, I am becoming my best self.
Okay. Reinforcing that sense of agency and potential.
Exactly. It's about countering that negative self-talk that often comes with feeling stuck. And it reinforces the idea that big changes often start with these tiny, consistent mental shifts, little resets throughout the day.
Right. Start small.
Always.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into, well, not being lazy, but getting unstuck. The USA Awakens segment leaves us with a clear challenge, doesn't it?
It does. Very direct, very actionable.
What is it?
It's simply this. Pick one small task, something you've been avoiding. Just one. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
Using that 5-minute rule we talked about.
Precisely. And just work on it for those 5 minutes. No pressure to finish. Just commit to starting and engaging for that short time.
And the underlying message here, weaving through everything we've discussed from the source, is really about empowerment, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's saying, look, you're probably not fundamentally lazy or broken. You're likely just momentarily stuck.
And you're not powerless in that state.
Not at all. You're often just one small decision, one tiny action away from starting to build that positive momentum again.
It's about seeing the feeling as a signal, understanding potential causes, distractions, lack of clarity, burnout, needing purpose, and then using these simple strategies.
Yes. Awareness, the 5-minute nudge, cultivating focus, connecting to why it matters, and these little mental resets, they all work together.
So the final thought perhaps is, give that 5-minute challenge a real try today. Reflect for a moment on your why. Remember that progress, real change, often starts much smaller than we think.
Exactly. It really does all begin with that first small step, that conscious choice to reset